looking back at you know, all of the time I've spent on Craigslist and other internet sites looking for a car, it's really, the goal was to find the best value. You know, it's a car that you can acquire for the right buy-in price, that you'll get your money's worth as far as enjoyment, or it'll hold its value, or, you know, the marquee. You know, I want to say I owned this kind of car. You know, there's got to be something in it for the owner. And with this one, I really hadn't understood what I had stumbled upon until much later. You know, I'm still learning about the S2000. I'm still doing research on the S2000, and it's more, the more I read about it, the more excited I get, actually. So I would say, yes, this is a perfect find for me. This is an unbelievable opportunity to own something that I would say it was not on my radar. It wasn't in my scope of cars that I would say, yeah, I wanna have that one. But realizing, stumbling on it, finding it, I've realized what I found. This particular S2000 piqued my interest for a couple of reasons. It kind of set me down on a journey with learning about the car as a whole. And this particular model, you know, when you're looking to buy a car, there's an ideal list of things, of check boxes that you want. You know, you don't want something that's had multiple owners. You don't want something that's been, you know, raced or modified, unless you're looking for that particular aspect of it. You know, how's it been taken care of? Who's had it? How many people have had it? Has it been in an accident? Has it got a lot of miles? The condition. You know, all these things, you know, are variables that you don't necessarily want to see in your next car. Does it have high miles? No, it's only got 12,000 miles on it. Is it an ugly color? You know, is it an ugly color scheme? No, it's silver with the black interior. So it's a color scheme that I particularly like. How's the maintenance been? I pulled the Carfax, and in the 11 years she's had it, she's changed the oil at the Honda dealership 9 times. So I would say the car has had pretty stellar maintenance to it. Also, it's never been in an accident. On a side note, the invoice date of the car happens to be my birthday. So there was a immediate tying together of what I would call a little destiny, perhaps. You know, so that intrigued me. I had never seen the car. It wasn't until probably about a month after we'd had our first discussion that she actually sent me pictures of the car, and we have them here. So this is the S2000, the Proposition. This is the car that I've decided to try to acquire. You know, when you're looking at cars, you know, there's a lot of different variances with models between the production run. And some years are better than other years. And depending on your preference to the Honda S2000, they have Generation 1 AP1 and they have Generation 2 AP2. And Generation 1 is 2000 through 2003, and that's the original run. And then with AP2, they made some minor modifications to the car that some people like. I guess if there's a purist of an S2000, they may prefer AP1, but there was some issues with the car that seemed to be worked out in the AP2 series generation. And for me, that sounded like, you know, a good idea. So, you know, the car is the generation that I would want. It's the color that I would want. It's extremely low miles, in my opinion, for a 2004. Stellar maintenance records. Cared for by the previous owner. So really, there really wasn't a downside that I could see to this particular car. You know, I mean, the top is in great condition, interior's in brand new condition. There's really no negatives that I could see, aside from perhaps the front tires aren't the same brand as the rear tires. You really have to act quickly in most scenarios. If it's the better the deal, the less availability of that deal there always is. You know, someone is always right there to snatch it up. So in this situation that I have, I'm actually extremely fortunate that it wasn't per se, it wasn't known. No one knew about the car being for sale except for me and the seller at that point that we had the discussion, you know. So it really is a low pressure, you know, if it goes through, it'll be a very easy, low stress, enjoyable, really enjoyable purchasing experience. Until the title is signed over, there's always a chance that she could change her mind. I mean, she could take the car for a drive tomorrow and decide, you know, maybe next year I'll sell it. You know, I want to keep it one more year. You have no idea until you actually can close the deal that you can acquire the car. And logistically, the car is 12 hours away, so there's that built into, you know, physically possible. You know, how do I, if I buy the car, how do I get it? What's the best way to transport it? You know, how do I fit that into my schedule? Things of that nature. Today is the day that I am going to go on a journey to pick up my Honda S2000. It's 700 miles away, and I'm going to have to go by car, go by bus, go by plane, and then I will drive the car back. Hopefully everything goes well.